A.J. Brown rumors are going to be hard to cipher through because A.J. Brown being traded, not being traded, none of it's known right now. There's no concrete, angle to look at any of these situations from. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is of the topics today the main one that we can draw conclusions about, that he's not going to be the starter in 2026, or at least they're going to bring in major competition. And I don't think J9 can I think grab the starting job from whoever they bring in. The Vikings would be incompetent not to bring in an actual Mac Jones via trade. We're going to talk about Mac Jones as well, who the Niners suggest, and again, posturing, smoke season, can't believe anybody right now. The Niners suggest they're not trading Mac Jones, but that just drives price tags up when you say things like that. A.J. Brown says he's happy, wants to be in Philly. We've heard him say that, and then we've heard him say something entirely different the next day. None of this can be taken as absolute. The Fantasy Football Show, breaking news edition, talking about all these situations. Travis Kelce probably returning for another year. All that and more. That show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So, let's start off with A.J. Brown. And there's two different reports right now coming out of the festivities, the Super Bowl festivities. This one right here from Diana Rossini, who tends to say something after somebody else says something and just kind of either drums up something old and throws it right in the front of everyone's eyes. Reports that the Eagles' A.J. Brown's relationship with the organization remains somewhat tenuous. We know that. I mean, that's obvious. And to say that off of the back of other news that broke today, merely A.J. Brown speaking, at Super Bowl festivities, doing interviews. A.J. Brown said in an interview that he's excited about next season. He's excited about having a new coordinator. He's excited about, Philly. He likes Philly, loves the fans in Philly. These are moves. These are maneuvers. These are postures that you take no matter what. Love my fans, love Philly. I'm here. This is salvaging the way teams look at you. Also, if you're trying to be traded, actively trying to be traded, and the team's actively trying to trade you, the last thing in the world you want to do is look like you're not a team player. Like, I want out. This could happen to you. Whoever's looking to trade for me, I might turn on you and say, trade me. So A.J. Brown's definitely posturing. Do I think he stays? I think given that there's been a play calling, offensive coordinating, offensive mastermind change and switch up in Philly, it certainly could have him say, you know what, let's leave it alone for now. And if this doesn't go right, if I don't get fed the damn football in 2026, I will request a trade. The other thing that makes it complicated to move A.J. Brown this year is if you don't rework his deal, his dead cap is tremendously high. Ziggy, what is the dead cap for the Eagles if they trade A.J. Brown this offseason? Let's see.
The Eagles would incur a dead cap hit of $43.5 million if they trade A.J. Brown before June 1st, 2026. Would you like to know more about A.J. Brown's contract?
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Turn off. This guy loves attention. You tell him to turn off and he doesn't. He just kind of sits there for about 2 to 3 minutes and then he tries to take over. So the dead cap is obviously a problem, but it doesn't mean he can't be moved. And the thing about these contracts is you can restructure things. We've seen some crazy stuff happen. Even if Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's not getting traded this offseason, but his dead cap would be huge. In order for Joe Burrow to be traded, he would have to surrender and give up guaranteed money, which would be okay because he just go over to a new team and sign a new deal and get the guaranteed money back. But those are the kind of things you don't see happen that would need to happen. A.J. Brown Diggs, when Diggs got traded to Houston and he had, I think, 3 years on his deal, he requested to redo his deal and knock his deal down to a 1-year deal. And it was like, what? We hadn't seen that. I want to say maybe forever in terms of like at least spotlight years, social media existing and covering it. We hadn't seen anything like that, especially from a big name player. Anything else would have come in under the radar, but anything can happen when it comes to contracts and players surrendering and restructuring money. But A.J. Brown, it's a complicated move on the surface level without, digging into any weird, angles we could take. A.J. Brown moving is complicated from a financial perspective. It can be done. The question is he more complicated to keep in the locker room? Is A.J. Brown going to tear down what you're trying to fix here with a new, situation, new offense, essentially, in a way, at least a tweaked offense, a tweaked play calling situation? And will A.J. Brown's existence in the reshaping of that cause a problem? Do they want to get rid of him now before it's too late? He's also got a lot of knee injuries in his history. He comes with a little bit of inherent injury risk that probably will only get worse as he gets older. He's had a lot of knee cleanups. Those eventually catch up to you because you can only clean up and cut off meniscus so much before you start having other problems. So A.J. Brown comes with a lot of injury risk. He's at the pinnacle of his trade value, just like when we talk about Maxx Crosby, and we'll do that in a second because there's more Maxx Crosby news. But Maxx Crosby is at the pinnacle of trade value, at the pinnacle of play. So he's teeter-tottering at the top of his career. Same thing with A.J. Brown. Once you have the opportunity to sell that player and get something absolutely amazing, it really puts you in a position where you got to make decisions. Like, do we move on? Do we go get a younger wide receiver? Do we turn to Devontae Smith and figure out another avenue to build around this wide receiver room in a different way? Do we even use A.J. Brown properly? The answer is they don't. If I had to guess, this is a 50-50, near 55-45% odds, the 55 being that he gets traded. 55%, near 50-50, like it's teeter-tottering that A.J. Brown gets traded. I don't think it's a small 5% chance, 10%. I mean, you're talking about 50 to 55% chance he gets traded. That's a huge number. But there's so many moving parts to this that it's hard. Things have to line up perfectly. It's not just about, the Eagles want to trade him, he's gone. The Eagles want to trade him if the cost of it, if the return on investment, if the potential draft capital and whatever contract they can potentially renegotiate or do something with in terms of money, all that's got to speak to them in a way that they say this outweighs having A.J. Brown with the diva mentality. So there's too many moving parts to really just say, it's going this way or that way. If they wanted to trade A.J. Brown, they wouldn't necessarily be able to because of all those things needing to line up. If A.J. Brown wants out, the team can't just 100% trade him because all the things have to line up. So many things need to be in place for this trade for a trade like this to go down, but it's 50-50 A.J. Brown gets moved. No matter what Diana Rossini says, no matter what anybody says, no matter what A.J. Brown says, he's the team. No matter if the team, Howie's constantly saying, I don't get rid of good players. I don't get in the habit of getting rid of good players. We try and keep good players, not trade them away. That's the saying of the day. The Niners said that about Deebo Samuel 1 year before trading Deebo Samuel. In fact, the Niners said that about 5 months before trading Deebo Samuel. We're not really interested in getting rid of, good players. John Lynch said that specifically, and then they traded Deebo Samuel. So don't think just because somebody says that, don't think because a player says, I love Philly, I want to be in Philly. Of course they want to be in Philly. At this moment, he wants to be in Philly. At this moment, he wants to be in Philly. Maxx Crosby wants to be a Raider. Right now, he wants to be a Raider. Tomorrow, he might not necessarily want to be a Raider. Maxx Crosby might be, I want to be a Raider if you want me. If you don't want me, then send me elsewhere. And there's fracture. Who knows how it goes? We'll get on Maxx Crosby in a second. But just to conclude here, A.J. Brown, 50 to 55% likely to get traded in the offseason. Just some complexities we can't really truly work out. Even with what we know now, there's no way to solidify any sort of angle. Maxx Crosby, according to Diana Rossini. Well, look at Diana. She's going crazy today. Everybody else reports something, then she adds a little sprinkle of something sometimes in the past, just throws it out there, and people are like, this new report. Diana Rossini says there's a strong sense that in league circles, Maxx Crosby could be traded. Well, we already know that, Diana. We've literally been talking about that for quite some time. But, if I say this right now, it sounds like I got new information. You don't have new information. The truth is, Max has already come out and said, everyone's speaking for me. I haven't said a word. So, Diana, you just put your own foot in your own mouth because he just came out and said nobody's hearing anything from me. So, yes, in the league circles, people are saying he could be traded. Doesn't mean that the league circles are correct. Maxx Crosby has made it very, very abundantly clear that he hasn't said a word to Jay Glazer, who Jay Glazer came out and said that Maxx Crosby's done in LV and that he won't play there in 2026, as if he had some inside information. Maxx Crosby did dance around some of the questions when asked about it yesterday, and he cleared the air and said, I haven't talked to anybody about this situation at all. So anybody saying that I'm done or I haven't said any of that. They're speaking for me. But then when pressed about it, he didn't exactly say, I'm never leaving, or I want to be a Raider for life, or this is the only place I want to be. He said, I'm in Raider gear right now. I'm working out as a Raider. I'm just going to shut up because I can only say what I want so many times, which is in a way, his way of saying, I've already told you I want to be a Raider. I don't want to be anywhere else. Nobody believes him. Every single offseason, Max wants to be traded. Max comes out and says, no, someone's making that up. I want to be a Raider. Next offseason, Max wants to be traded. Max comes out and says, no, I want to be a Raider. Someone's speaking for me again. And so he says he's done with it. He's not even going to answer it anymore. But does that mean he's not going to answer it? He's being stubborn and he's just, you want to be a troll? Then dance around it all you want. I've already spoken my piece about it. Or is he dancing around it because there is some truth to it, but he definitely hasn't told anyone about it? That's where we're kind of in limbo. I would say there's a near 30 or 40. At this point, this has changed for me, the percentage over the last 48 hours. But I would say between 30, I'd say a 30% chance he gets traded, which is still a big, significant number. And that might be because we don't know where the Raiders stand. The Raiders might be saying we can get max value for Maxx Crosby. We can get a 2 first-round picks, and if they can't, they won't trade him. I'll tell you that right now, just in case anybody's like, well, they're not going to get that, then they're not going to trade him. That's why it's not 80% likely, 100% likely. If the Dallas Cowboys surrender 12, even if they give up like a second or give up some sort of future consideration and other picks, the 12 and the 20 overall, which the Dallas Cowboys own both of these picks, Max is as good as gone. Will Dallas pay that price? Maybe, because, look, this could be a makeup for the Parsons situation on Jerry's part. I could definitely see it happening. And if you're the Raiders, you grab at 12 Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate to replace or to give yourself a number one wide receiver, and you use this 20 pick to try and replace Maxx Crosby or another piece, and you get your next Maxx Crosby somewhere else in the draft. But the 12 and 20 would be a remarkable return. The Rams have this next pick, 13, and also have 30. These are the two teams that have multiple first rounders, and they're the most likely teams to complicate this situation enough to get the Raiders to say, yes, we'll do a trade. If those complicated offers that you can't refuse don't come in, the Raiders aren't trading him. The Raiders aren't trading him. So that's the bottom line. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what SpyTech says. Doesn't matter what the Raiders say. Doesn't matter what Maxx Crosby says. Doesn't matter what A.J. Brown says. Doesn't matter what anybody says. If a team comes with an offer that the team can't refuse, and there's a fractured relationship of any kind, those two components make a trade happen. That's it. The two components are that. If there's a fractured relationship, and if there's an offer that the team can't refuse. Nobody is safe from a trade in that context. Period. And if Max is already kind of pissed off at the team, even if it's not it's salvageable. There's a fracture between Max and the team is very, very small, but it's a fracture. And if the fracture is in place, it's sitting there. Max is capable of going somewhere else, capable of saying, yeah, you know what? I'm okay going somewhere else. And he's sitting there at the top of his game, but maybe in a year or two on his way down a little bit. Injuries are a concern. You offer the Raiders the number 12 and the 20, they're taking it, and Max is gone. The question is, will a team overpay? If a team's not overpaying, guess what? Maxx Crosby ain't going anywhere. So that's that. You heard it from me. And that's all you need. That's all you need, because that's the breakdown. There's no for sure on either side. There's no A.J. Brown's for sure gone. There's no for sure A.J. Brown's still staying. There's no for sure that Maxx Crosby's not traded in the offseason. And there's no for sure that Maxx Crosby is. Anybody that tells you different or is saying different in the chat doesn't know what they're talking about. Travis Kelce, and I haven't read what anybody's saying, so if anybody said that, I apologize if that offended you. Diana Rossini reports, Diana's been busy. The Chiefs, the people close to the Chiefs believe that Kelce will return for one more season. Look, I've been saying this for weeks now. Diana Rossini, maybe she's watching the show and she's referencing this channel because we've already said this over and over and over. This is not new news. Diana has no new information from this. This is just piling on what we already know to be true. Kelce is most likely not going to walk away and have his career end the way that it ended. And I think he returns for another year. He's also returning for another year for his brother. And Mahomes goes down. He knows Mahomes needs him. He knows Mahomes is going to have one of those years where he's going to need him more than ever. And he's certainly going to return for one more year in my mind, unless something happens between now and the decision, whether he gets talked out of it by family or whatever the hell. Mac Jones, according to Diana Rossini, Mac Jones, Diana Rossini reports the Niners aren't looking to trade Mac Jones. Again, old news. Like, what is she pulling this from? We've already broke this weeks ago. I don't know what in the hell she's talking about today, but it then triggers people to repost it, which you could say, Smitty, why are you even talking about this? Because these are all the news reports that broke today that people are shoveling around social media. So it's fresh. Even though it's old, it's fresh. There's nothing new here at all, because the Niners have already made it abundantly clear their intentions are not to trade Mac Jones. This is week-old news. Now, again, will Mac Jones be traded? It depends on if a team brings an offer that they can't refuse. And while a fracture isn't necessarily here, something that resembles a fracture, the needing to potentially move on to gain something else for the organization. They fell short. They need another piece. They believe in Brock Purdy. They want to go all in on that. It was complicated, even though it's nice, and this is why Shanahan wants to keep Mac Jones. It's nice that if Purdy goes down, they can still not miss a beat at the quarterback position. And in fact, some would say the team looks a little bit more spicy with Mac Jones under center, and I'm one of those people. So this is one where I believe that this is more of like a 40%, 30% likelihood of Mac Jones getting traded. And this offer has got to be so good that the Niners say, without the fracture, this offer is too good to turn down. And because the fracture of the team, pieces that need to be fixed are more important than the backup quarterback, we'll go ahead and surrender Mac to improve the starting rosters on defense and offense. So that's where that's headed. Kirk Cousins most likely will be released ahead of the new league year. And there's some talk about him going into broadcasting. There's some talk about him exploring his options first to see if he can start for a team. There are teams that would look into this. Like, would Minnesota potentially give him a call? I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know that Kirk has enough left in the tank to be some sort of elite starter. And not even elite starter. Be some really, really efficient 17-game starter. But that's to be determined by another team. And Anybody can make that determination, and we disagree with it. They still go forward, and he ends up being the Vikings starting quarterback. Who knows? Christian Watson said he wants to sign a long-term contract extension to remain in Green Bay. This could go in a strange direction in the offseason. And damn if the boy didn't earn, a big fat bag given his play. He looked fantastic this year, bouncing back from that ACL tear. And his great rebound year one from the ACL tear is evidence that we could definitely see our boy Malik Neighbors come back on a tear, because Malik Neighbors is a much better athlete than Christian Watson, a much more pristine athlete. Here are the wide receivers that are available from this section over. These are all the free agent wide receivers. These are the 3 rookies, and these are the players that could be in trade talks. But Evans, Wandell, Dobbs, Pierce, Jennings, Christian Watson is probably looking pretty attracted to his team, and they most certainly are going to dig into giving him a long-term deal. Adam Gase, man, did we not call all these coaches? When someone said who are the worst coaches, I said Adam Gase, Hackett, Matt Nagy, and all 3 of them are finding homes. And, I pulled up the wrong one. Adam Gase, there it is. Adam Gase has emerged as an offensive assistant coaching candidate for the Chargers. Now, thank God he won't be making huge decisions, but this is one of the worst coaches in the entire National Football League. And just head-scratching to me. The Harbaughs make some pretty dumb decisions, it appears, when it comes to coaches. Now, Mike McDaniel, Malibu Mike, is going to be in full control. This doesn't hurt any of the players necessarily, but it certainly doesn't help. It's not a helping hand that you're adding to the organization. Adam Gase is one of the worst to do it. J.J. McCarthy, Diana Rossini believes the Vikings will look to acquire a veteran quarterback. Thanks, Diana. You're on top of it today, Diana. By the way, the Vikings are on the lookout for another QB. And again, this spreading all over just because she reported it. So I'm here to tell you, we already talked about it. We got this. Hold our beer. I mean, we only talk about that almost every other night. I think maybe they'll add another quarterback in Minnesota. Does anybody want to break this news that I'm spitting out right now? Let me go check out my Rumblers, see what my Rumblers are doing over on Rumble. Aldi over on the Rumble side of the fence. Guys, if you're watching from YouTube, Rumble is booming. And when Rumble gets to 10,000 followers, we're at 2.5K. It grows every day by the hundreds. Please become a part of the Rumble movement. I just dropped that Rumble link in the live chat. I'll pin it right now. As soon as we get to 10K, which could be in a month or two, I will be starting I hope someday it becomes daily, but a weekly Rumble only exclusive show that won't have anything to do with YouTube. It won't take any YouTube shows away or anything like that. We're not moving over. People don't listen. People they're like, Smitty, don't leave us. Like, where am I saying I'm doing anything different on YouTube? It's all the same. We're adding an additional show. It might be daily. At some point we get to 10K Rumblers, then that channel needs some love, and so I'm gonna give it love the moment we get to 10K, and so just get ready for it. Okay, dial into the show. Rumblers, appreciate you, and YouTubers, dial in. YouTubers, Rumblers alike, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Well, Sky, you don't need to watch any of them. You don't like Rumble. You don't like the channel. Like, why are you even here then? Rumble's fantastic. And we're going to do Rumble exclusive shows. And if you don't want to be a part of it, guess what? You're going to miss out. And that's going to be on you. I'll tell you now, Rumble is popping, and we're doing it live, and we're doing it well over on Rumble. And people that have that attitude, you have some like political, like anti-Rumble stance, like check that at the door. Check your politics at the door and consume greatness. Consume a great show on Rumble, or just check your politics at the door. I'm scamming though? Then how about I bump you from the YouTube show as well? How about that? You calling your boy Smitty a scammer on any level? I'll just remove you from the YouTube channel. Then you don't have either one. Sky, how's that? So open your mouth again. The Rumble haters are wild, bro. It's such a political stance they take. Are you Rumble? Who cares? Like, watch the show. We're not speaking politics over there. I'm not creating a political show. I'm doing fantasy football. And you get all up in your panties in a bunch about going over to Rumble because your political views, like, that's you getting in your own way. You getting in your own way, bro. I don't know what your problem is doing that nonsense. Dial into the show. We'll talk about specifically A.J. Brown, McCarthy, Kelce, Mac Jones, Eagles, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, all 2026 conversation. On top of, if anybody wants to talk NFL Super Bowl, the big game here, I'm more than happy to have that kind of conversation as well. Doing it live. Shelly loves Rumble. Raise your hand if you love Rumble. I love Rumble. I love YouTube. I love YouTube and Rumble. I love both of them. All right. Mac to Minnesota. We already talked about that 2A. It just, I mean, if he gets traded, it's certainly a possible landing spot. It's certainly the best landing spot. But according to Shanahan and the Niners, which could be smoke, they're not trading him. Rumble should be okay. Yeah, damn straight it is. The link is pinned in the live chat. Follow over on Rumble because there will be Rumble only videos at some point that don't take away from the YouTube channel at all. I got my Rumblers over there. I got Gannon over on Rumble. I got New Age Outlaw over on Rumble. I got Aldi on Rumble. Appreciate you guys over on Rumble or Rumblers.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. You don't see the link, it's pinned, my boy. It's literally pinned in the live chat. I'll drop it again for you, but here's the Rumble link right there. If I had to guess which one, Mac Jones getting traded to Minnesota or elsewhere, it would probably be Minnesota, or A.J. Brown getting traded to New England, Buffalo, or other. If I had to pick one, which one was more likely to happen? New Age gift and membership to Gannon. Thank you, New Age. Appreciate you. New Age to the moon.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I'd have to say, I'd have to say the odds of A.J. Brown getting traded are a little bit higher.
Motion detected at the front door.
Just a little bit higher. Look, Mac Jones, the thing that makes me feel like Mac Jones won't get traded is because Shanahan really wanted Mac Jones in that draft class. Did not want Trey Lance. Trey Lance was forced upon him. And that's why he ruined him. It's similar to how Stefanski tried to ruin Shedeur. These coaches, when they get handed a quarterback that they didn't want because they get forced upon them, they get bent out of shape over it. The odds of both Mac Jones and A.J. Brown both getting traded, though, is it's possible. Like, Mac in Minnesota would be fantastic. It would be great for JJ. It's what we want. It's the most desired landing spot and outcome. But, A.J. Brown getting traded, it just makes sense because he's been a disaster. An absolute disaster. Blitzen in the building. If anyone needs drafting advice on Underdog, hit me up, especially in the premium tight end leagues. So we were ripping on the 3 tight end draft last night. It ended up being Blitzen, but he was on auto. He didn't know how to get back in the draft after he entered it. And so we were sitting here ripping on the team that drafted, 5 straight wide receivers and then 3 straight tight ends and no running backs. And we were like, what is this team doing? It ended up being Blitzen. So I felt bad when I found out, but he said he was on auto. He didn't even know. So I don't feel bad that we ripped it because, he probably would have been ripping it too. It wasn't what he wanted. Blitzen to the moon with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20
Alert. Super chat alert.
Blitzen, appreciate you, bro. Travis, you're live. Oh, hold on a second. I don't have audio. Let me switch this over real quickly. Let's see here. All right, try now. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I would say I think Crosby and AJB are probably like 50-50. Both teams, Mac Jones too. They'll all have to get the right deal, otherwise they'll just hold on to him. I think it's funny how, and I get it because I guess they're mostly Eagles fans, but Eagles fans seem to be in pure denial that AJB could move, and it's always like, well, he says he loves it here. Look at the turmoil there's been. Anytime there's that much back and forth and drama, anything can happen.
You know what? Why AJB might not get traded though is similar way that this went for Ayuk. Is they're all talk, and then when it comes down to it, they don't want to leave, because whenever AJ Brown does push this thing to like a certain limit, and then he gets asked about it, he seems to be much different. His stance seems to be much different. Like when we really get to the meat and potatoes of it, and you're like, what? Like the way he's been acting is so different than like, oh, I love it here. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So he might be crying wolf, and then when it comes down to it, the boy doesn't want to leave. So
I do think maybe if like he knew where he was going, or if he could control where he was going, he might push a little harder if there were certain places he knew he would go and get the ball. But it has to be a thought in his head that they could trade me to wherever, somewhere awful, the Jets.
the Jets, man. Bad Bunny has a better chance of having a successful Super Bowl performance than AJ Brown does being a Jet. I mean that's
I'd have to check maybe no trade, but usually you guys don't have a huge no trade. I guess maybe he does. It's so impressed that they just here we go. Let you.
Yeah, that's what you definitely got to worry about where you.
Raiders, remember Randy Moss, Antonio Brown, and whoever else. They just send them to the Raiders and let them first plummet. Or in Antonio Brown's case, he burnt his feet off and got out of town before he had to play there.
Yeah, I don't see AJ Brown doesn't have a no trade clause. He has 51 guaranteed at signing, 20 compensation, option bonus. Yeah, I don't see anything, no trade clause.
So he's got to be careful.
Yeah, they sent him to they sent him to the Jets, and he's cooked.
On Mac Jones, I would think it would probably take like either multiple picks or like second round pick or something for them to move off, because Purdy has had a couple injuries, and Mac Jones has showed really well, and Shannon likes him. And if they're still technically like, we used to say the window is open, an inch and closing on them, but they're like holding the window open now, trying to keep it from closing. It's still that same window, so why wouldn't they make sure they have a quarterback unless they get blown away by something?
Rare says Bad Bunny's going to bring in the viewers. No, he's not, bro. It's going to be the most despicable halftime show ever. I think people aren't going to watch it. They're going to turn it off. They're going to go get their salsa and hot wing refills. They're going to go get another bowl of chips.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to watch that trash. Bad Bunny's trash, man.
And honestly, the only thing I'll say on it is just because they're clearly trying to political direction and talk about politics. And I know they say they aren't, but because it's such a big thing about that, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll be here live during the whole Super Bowl tomorrow. So if anybody was wondering, I'll be live about an hour or two before. I think 2 hours before, maybe just an hour before. I don't know. And then I'll be live. I'll be live throughout the entire thing. So I'm gonna have it on mute. I won't even. Thank God I won't be able to hear it. But it'll be fun. So if anybody has anything to do tomorrow, or you want to check in, I'll be here live during the entire Super Bowl, and we'll be reacting as it goes. All right. What else? What do you think about Mac Jones? What's the likelihood Shanahan parts ways with his favorite quarterback?
So, well, what I was saying was just, I think it would take like a second rounder or multiple picks or something like that, because that they're still like, forcing that window open. CMC, and I don't know what Trent Williams will do, and Kirk, and then Kittle the other day. Obviously, it's just Kittle talk, like Debo back. They're all trying to kind of open this window, and I mean, made it, deep into the playoffs this year, so obviously gonna take another run at it. But I would say, 30 or 40%. I think you said 40%, because when you combine all of that, getting the right price, Shanahan loving them, them trying to keep this window open, it is a lot working against. All it takes is that one team to offer.
Yeah, Mac Jones is definitely somebody that Shanahan does not want to trade, but yeah, you kind of look at it like you have a chance to win. You need to make moves in order to get better. McCaffrey's getting another year older. That's a disaster. Kittle's coming back from injury. I mean, Mac might be the key to them getting what they need to push the starters into that territory they need to be playing at. But, I mean, it is tough to say, like, we're keeping Mac because we don't trust Brock Purdy. And the pressure that puts on Purdy, I mean, look what happened. Purdy was healthy and they wouldn't use him. They kept starting Mac, and they kept saying, well, Purdy's not ready yet. Purdy was totally ready. But they felt like maybe Mac was better. And for a while there, Mac was. And then Purdy had a really good finish to the year. I think they probably feel more confident in Purdy finishing the season the way he finished the season. So they're open-minded to trading Mac. But it really has to be that one component's got to be overwhelming. It's got to be an offer the Niners literally cannot refuse. Mac Jones needs to be the key to the Minnesota Vikings' success, and they need to overpay, or he can't just be some sort of like side piece. We'll bring him in to compete with J9. It needs to be like, this is our move. This is our we're gonna base everything this franchise has on freaking Mac Jones. And if they're not willing to overpay at that amount, then he's not leaving. Now, I don't know what that trade value looks like, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, most football fans do. Like, I know some people are going back and forth on the Bad Bunny thing, but like, you ask the average football fan, and they don't want this as the halftime show. Maybe somebody that's watching the game but doesn't watch football. Yeah. A lot of players and a lot of people don't want this halftime show. If he was like a accessory to it, it'd be different. But the people watching the halftime show will be people that don't watch the football game. Like they're there once a year to watch a game. They don't even know who's playing. They wouldn't recognize who is who when you're like, what team's that? I don't know. I don't know. When's Bad Bunny start? Like that. Those are the people interested in Bad Bunny. I wish they had a better. This is a dumb choice by the commissioner. He just one of his many stupid decisions. He's just dumb decision.
And well, he gets the press on it, points the attention, so it's not worth more than the viewership. I don't know.
Well, you're also opening the door. You're also opening the door, mark my words, to a very, very, very political halftime show. Like, regardless of what side you're on, I don't even want to get into that. But you know that he is going to throw away his chance of, and I don't even know that this will make the NFL mad. Hard to know what they think about anything.
Well,
But he's going to make a very political statement and cross a line that he's probably been told not to cross. And you look at the Kendrick Lamar thing, like Kendrick Lamar was definitely like, okay, I got one shot at this. I'm going to cross some lines and they'll probably never invite me back. But you literally know that's what Bad Bunny's going to do. And it's going to.
It's funny because Goodell said, "Oh, there won't be any political statement."
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's gonna be. This is more
lying to our faces.
Yeah, this is more of like you're setting yourself up for some divisiveness in this. So like, it's just a stupid move. Okay, last thing. Kelce returns. I think it's like 80%. I think it'd have to be some sort of revelation to not return, or an injury that he can't shake that we don't know about or something. I think that he does not want to leave Mahomes down a man as Mahomes comes back. I feel like this is his way of saying, Mahomes, I got you. You had me all those years. I got you. Let's get you where you need to go. I don't think he retires, but who knows? What do you think? Kelce retires or no?
I thought he was going to, before the season ended, and then when Mahomes got hurt at the end of the season, he said something like, he referred to the Chiefs as, there's kind of some, little, not like smoking guns, but just little pieces here and there, like he was starting to separate. But I guess you got to believe the reporting that, it sounds like he might be leaning towards coming back. I think the bigger thing actually with this, if he's coming back, is that if there's even a 75% chance he comes back, you should be drafting him in best ball right now at his ADP. ADP is ridiculously low, and he would just, even if he's a top 10 tight end as your second or third tight end in a handful of drafts.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll see.
There's a few guys right now in underdog. Maybe we can talk about that tonight or something. But
yeah.
Their ADPs, be it rookies or set, even Shador, different guys. Once we get closer to the season, once the draft happens, like these picks are just gonna jump up anywhere from 20 to 50 to 75 spots. So now's the time to take advantage of it.
All right, Travis, we'll see you tonight.
Yeah, you want to tonight? Someone was asking in the chat. Tonight, you want to do some underdog picks tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and they'll have them on the screen all tomorrow as well. All right, later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're out of here for now, but appreciate everybody. AJ Brown, where is he going to play? I say he's going to be playing for Philly, New England, or Buffalo. That I can tell you. Or no, I don't know that I can tell you that for sure, but that's what my gut tells me. Will it be Philly? Again, maybe. JJ McCarthy, my prediction is he does not start 2026. Does he go in during an injury or something and get his groove back? Certainly possible, but I don't think he starts 2026. I think they have a Mac Jones or different quarterback starting 2026. Kelce, I believe, returns. Mac Jones, 30 to 40% chance he's a Minnesota Viking. If not, I don't think he gets traded anywhere but Minnesota, but I think it's only a 30 to 40% chance because Shanahan wants to keep him so badly. It needs to be an offer that the Niners cannot refuse. So if you want Mac Jones, if you need Mac Jones, and damn straight, guys, we need Mac Jones in Minnesota. We need the Vikings to come with a strong offer. A strong offer. Someone said I missed their super chat. Who is that? Sam? I'm sorry, Sam. I got it right here. Blitzen, thank you again for that $20 hauler, you monster. Sam, appreciate your $5 super. I was sorry about making you wait on that one, Sam, to the motherfucking moon. From a Michigan fan, it sucks watching J9 sucking. He was great, but really good. Can find his what? He wasn't great, but really good, and can find his receiver. Are you trying to say receiver? I don't think he. Look, Sam, I don't want to disagree or argue with you or anything on this topic, but I did not see somebody that looked like an NFL quarterback coming out of college. I saw a game manager that played great college football that did not have any sort of resume, and all we would hear was, well, he didn't have a chance to throw because they were winning so many games. Well, then he didn't have the resume. Like, maybe he could have proved it to me, but he didn't. And so I didn't see an NFL quarterback at all coming out of college. I was very anti-J.J. McCarthy, and I think so far I've been historically correct. However, doesn't mean I haven't missed other things. I'm not saying I'm 100%. I just think on McCarthy, I never saw it to begin with, so I'm not like disappointed or shocked by it. He just does not feel like an NFL caliber quarterback, and I think it's pretty much been proven. But maybe he gets revived by Shane Steichen 4 years from now. You know? We will be back. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much, Strong, for dropping that. Thank you, both you and Blitzen, for the super chats. Appreciate you. And over on Rumble, guys, make sure you're subscribed on Rumble. New Age Outlaw gifting 2 gifted memberships over the course of this show. New Age Outlaw, appreciate you.
You've just been Smitty approved.
New Age, appreciate you, my man. Appreciate all my Rumblers. Guys, make sure you get on over to the pinned link in the YouTube live stream for Rumble. When we get to 10K, we will have a new Rumble-only show. This show is not going away on YouTube at all. I'm just saying you're going to have an additional Rumble exclusive show brought to you on Rumble. And Rumble, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, here's the YouTube link as well. So cross streams here. But as soon as we get to 10K, Rumble will be given an additional, not to affect the YouTube shows or streams or time. YouTube will stay exactly the way it is. But Rumble will be granted a new exclusive Rumble-only show as soon as we get to 10K. See you all tonight. Appreciate you. Don't forget to do your overs, your hires and lowers on Underdog. Promo code Smitty. Play 5 and get 75, and Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. Let me drop that Underdog link right here in the live chat of both the Rumble and the YouTube stream. There it is. Boom. And here it is. Boom. So make sure you are signed up using code Smitty or that link I just dropped, and do all your hires and lowers and put some skin in the game. So the big game, you can go ahead and have yourself a grand old time watching. Yeah, people will change the channel at halftime. I can pretty much guarantee that with avid football fans. Everyone's going to be getting refills of their wings and their pizza and their salsa and their chips and their drinks, while Bad Bunny's trying to make some big statement that no one's watching, or a very select few will watch. See you all later. Appreciate you. Deuce. Who do I have winning? Seattle. I'm sorry. That's me being honest, not me trying to fight with my heart. I'm fighting with my mind. Now, maybe the heart beats the mind tomorrow, but I just think Seattle's too good on offense and too good on defense. It's not like they're lacking on one side. And New England's got a very underrated defense, but I just think Seattle, it feels like New England's about to become that team, and things are going to get better. And Drake May doesn't even have any weapons. And they don't even use their one weapon, which is one of the most remarkable weapons in the league, in Trey Henderson. Now, if they use Trey Henderson and Henderson has 100 yards and a touchdown tomorrow, I think that's going to be required for the New England Patriots to win. That's my prediction. If Hendy has over 100 total yards and a touchdown, New England wins. If he doesn't, New England will lose. That's my prediction. See you all tomorrow. I'll be live I'll see you all tonight, but then I'll be live tomorrow during the entire Super Bowl. So join me about an hour or two before. We'll go live all the way through and then do a reaction show all on one stream. So probably about a 5-hour live stream. See you all tomorrow. It's all on Hendy. It's all on Vrabel using Hendy. It's all on this staff, the entire staff using Hendy. Hendy gets used, they could win the game because he's the weapon that they need. He's the weapon that can match the offensive arsenal that the Seahawks have in JSN and Kenneth Walker and how that's going to look mixed and combined with that defensive play. Hendy is the spark that the Seattle defense is. That's the only shot I think that New England has is to making huge monster plays. I mean, use Hendy. I had to do it. Feed him, Vrabel. Feed him. Feed him. Give him the ball. He's hungry. See you all at midnight.